Okay. You already know my criticisms when it comes to All Elite Wrestling. Out there in North America, one of the top wrestling companies, number 2 in my opinion, but the wrestling itself, the techniques, the talent that they have in AEW rivals that of WWE. The only thing that AEW is faulting on, the only thing that All Elite Wrestling cannot seem to compete on, is storytelling, and it's creating characters. And I've said this in the past, and it appears that as long as Tony Khan has control of the book, which again, he's the owner, that doesn't seem like it will ever change. As long as he has the control of the book, they will never learn, and they will never change. Because if you look at the landscape that Wrestledream left for the main event scene, if you look at the landscape of the World Championship scene, it's a disaster. There is not one single babyface, top babyface, currently in AEW, built up to the point that they can pose a real threat to Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, who at Wrestledream ended Bryan Danielson's full-time in-ring career and became the first ever 4-time AEW World Champion. Jon Moxley, who turned pretty much the entire BCC, except for Wheeler Yuta, of course, against the American Dragon. And now, tonight on Dynamite, we're going to see yet another heel stable on top of the AEW wrestling landscape. He's going to be the world champion, and there are no baby faces at all who can actually pose a real threat in the very near future. Possibly not until next year. Which again, when I talk about storytelling, when I talk about pro wrestling, it's not that big of a deal, okay? It's entertainment. It's first world problems. And yes, what they did at Wrestledream was entertaining, which does matter. But where do we go from here? Who's gonna step up and become that babyface to challenge Jon Moxley for the World Championship? When all you had to do, Bryan Danielson wants to retire? Fantastic. Guess what? You give Swerve Strickland the biggest win of his career at All In London, packed stadium, biggest stage AEW has to offer, and his stock, his legacy, the value of his name skyrockets. It goes up. And then you have Jon Moxley and the rest of the BCC try to avenge Bryan Danielson. And we get to Wrestledream, and you can have the exact same result. Moxley becoming AEW World Champion for the 4th time in his career by defeating Swerve Strickland. But at least from now until the end of the year, you have your top babyface, Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You have your top babyface chasing and fending off one of the biggest heel groups the company has to offer. Instead, we fast-track everything. We give Bryan Danielson a World Championship run that, frankly, he didn't need. He is the American Dragon, for Christ's sakes. Okay? Just like Shawn Michaels didn't need a WWE title run in his final part of his WWE career, the same thing applies to Bryan Danielson in AEW. He absolutely did not need it. And WWE did not make that mistake back in 2007 when they had Shawn Michaels versus John Cena. On top of that, look at the Adam Cole and MJF feud. We have no idea who's a babyface. We have no idea who's a heel. And again, this is mostly looking at it from a, sports entertainment lens. But that's what works. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to put on great TV. And this feud, this rivalry between Adam Cole and MJF, it's cooled the F down. Yes, because of injuries. Yes, because of circumstances that they weren't able to control. But at least do it right. At least do it when fans are interested in it. And then we have the International Championship. Kyle Fletcher turning on Will Ospreay. Takeshita becoming International Champion. Where do you go from here now? I get it. Now you have 2 feuds, 2 rivalries, 2 top card matches for the next pay-per-view, I believe, Full Gear. Takeshita defending the International Championship against God knows who on that bloated roster. And Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay going after the Don Callis family. That works. That absolutely works. You know what would have worked better? Don Callis, Kyle Fletcher, turning on Will Ospreay. Kyle Fletcher becomes International Champion. Down the line, of course. And we get a top feud, a top rivalry, blood feud. Best friends gone array for AEW's mid-card title. We're not getting it. The TNT title does not matter right now. Jack Perry's not doing anything with it. Again, lack of storytelling, lack of character building, lack of long-term storytelling and long-term plans. They're just winging it. Like they've always done. And like they will always continue to do, because they have no idea how to book a wrestling show. And you can put on the absolute best in-ring wrestling product on the planet. It does not matter. The same fans will always keep supporting you. You will not gain new fans. And in the business, you want to gain new fans to grow. As simple as that. So with that said, again, I'll keep watching. It's wrestling. I love it. It's AEW. I love the company. I wish it could live up to its full potential. I truly wish that they could actually pose a real threat to WWE, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do it under Tony Khan's pen. My name is Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.